course, my favorite here for a long, long time, Shantini Pung, Secretary General of the Cambodian Red Cross, and Mrs. Chambura Wong, Director of Communications, and the rest of the delegation. Let me also greet the, who have I not mentioned here? I think I've done it right. We don't mention the IFRC and the ICRC around here. Because you asked that, I will have to mention them now. Boris, can you stand up so everybody will know he's the ICRC gentleman. They come from Mount Olympus, you know, that big mountain where the gods are. Once in a while they manifest themselves in real form on earth. And of course, the other gentleman that is here with us, before I do that, let me greet Sawanit. I have not seen Sawanit in a long time, and Lieutenant General Barley, right? And Mrs. Wasika Fuxamon of the Thai Red Cross Society. Let me also greet, well, Javier is not here, but the Timor-Leste Red Cross is here, and Acleto Bento. Is it an Acleto really? I'm just trying to break the ice here. And of course, Vietnam Red Cross Society, I didn't want to mention him because his name is Hai Yan. We had a very bad typhoon here named Hai Yan, but anyway, it's all right. And of course, his contrary, Mr. Vin Huang Nguyen. Javier is not yet here, but an able replacement is here in the persons of three gentlemen. First, I'll go to the oldest, Mr. Christopher Rassi. Are you the oldest, Chris? He refused to take that. Can you give him a big hand? And my good friend Christopher James Steins, as the Australians should say, Steins or Staines? Right? And of course, Mr. Patrick Alec. Chris is the IFRC delegate here for the Philippines, and Boris is, of course, the head of the delegation here. And I guess I have to mention the rest of the delegation of the ICRC, Bart Vermeulen, Deputy Head of Delegation, Richard Villena, Head of Cooperation in Manila, and Ms. Catherine Martin, Super Regional Movement Cooperation Coordinator, Asia Pacific. Let me now go to the point, and having greeted everybody, welcome to the Philippines. It's a great pleasure for me to welcome you all here. We always welcome our friends. Mabuhay, that means long life, that means share life, and that means give life. And that's important because that is what our organization is all about. Our society is founded on alleviating human suffering and uplifting human dignity. And once in a while, we will have the 16th, for example, this conference. This is the 16th for the Asia-ASEAN. And it's very important that we see one another, not just for friendship's sake, because we are indeed a close family. We try to know one another very well, and not only for the network, but also to learn from one another, to learn to work with one another. It's a partnership. And in the Philippines, we don't get any funding from the government except when we try to come up with certain things that we can do that they can pay for. But there's no budget in the government for the Philippines. So we rely very much on partnership. And again, if we don't exercise the partnership that we all have in the ASEAN region, we're a very unique community in ASEAN. You know, all the challenges in our region will not be met with the right mix of persistence, of vision, of making sure that we come out with our values and come out with our courage, commitment, and continuity in all the things that we try to do. And I'm happy to tell you that it's always a great pleasure for me to see our old friends here. They may have a little more gray, they may have a little less hair, but nonetheless they remain friends. Right, General Barty? But let me also say that on this occasion, we meet under, of course, always under very, very auspicious moments in the region's history. We've seen many typhoons occur here. In the Philippines alone, we're facing something that I think the world is going to face more and more because the population of the world has gone. Travel is very swift. People can move to places very fast. We are looking at the challenge of pandemics and epidemics. And that's why we have, in the Philippines right now, the Philippine Red Cross is involved in providing auxiliary support to our government by way of tentage. We have put up tents for measles, tents for dengue, and now we're working on polio. Polio stage a comeback. Not only here, I think Myanmar has a problem with polio as well, and Indonesia, I believe, has polio, a polio problem as well. And this has got to be, met in the vine so that it doesn't spread. We stopped having polio here in 19 years ago, but suddenly it woke us up, and suddenly it's here. So all of us are focused on that. This is exacerbated by the fact that vaccination has become a very serious issue for many parents who are afraid of it all over the world. And also sometimes you have the peril of certainly pharmaceutical companies who are, I will not accuse them of anything, but certainly there's a lot of money invested in pharmaceuticals, and they would like to get back their capital as much as possible, and sometimes they'll charge you more, or sometimes they will come out with a medicine or vaccine that is not quite ready. I know what I'm talking about because I investigated that drug that was brought in here that has caused us problems, because many of the parents here, we were presented with the challenge that now they don't trust vaccines. So it's very, very important for us to share our experiences with one another. Indonesia has a lot to share with us. We have the same volcanoes, earthquakes. We just had a major earthquake here last week, and all of us were mobilized to address that problem. And I always think in terms of what did Indonesia do, or what did other countries do when there was a conflict, for example. And I'm glad that we're headed for the peace talks, but still, there is still some elements here that maintain and try to extend warfare, conflict, or internal conflict in this country. Now, all of us have the expertise. Singapore, for example, I call it antiseptic, because they're very fast, and they try to have to be at the source point of research, which is very, very good. And we can learn from them as well. But certainly, our folks in Cambodia, they have a lot to contribute. Vietnam, Laos, and also Brunei, and definitely our friends in Timor-Leste. They have new challenges. They're a new society, and all of us should act like big brothers and sisters, not patronizingly, but to try and help them get together and form a more dynamic organization that will make a difference in their countries and their communities. And certainly, we have resources that we can share. A long time ago, we were talking about an ASEAN Disaster Center. I think we had one in Ceylon, and also partly in Malaysia, if I'm not mistaken. And certainly in Thailand, they're engaged in many things, like poison centers, and the battle against AIDS. And the real battle is not just the physical disease, but AIDS, meaning acute, intelligence deficiency shortage. That is something that we have to battle every day of our lives. So today we meet under these very, very challenging circumstances, and we have the ICRC. Levity aside, I enjoy working with the ICRC and the IFRC. We have to work together. Of course, the next challenge would be when we go to Geneva for the international conference. We have to go together as a body, knowing what the issues that we're going to have to confront. We need to know how what those issues are and what ails our organization. How can we most effective? There are many challenges, and in our past conferences, we had all kinds of neat steps. We had all kinds of pledges. This is a time for us to recall those pledges and see where we are. It's not a grading system, but certainly, like Shakespeare says, when you look at the mirror, to thine own self be true. And the Red Cross is a vocation. It is a commitment. It is not an NGO. I bristle when people tend to say we're an NGO, and I think we must all remember that. We are an international humanitarian organization, and our fundamental principles make us a strong society because we're values-based, and we earn the respect of everyone because there's a Red Cross everywhere in the world, and that can really react, and we have also been working on that. The Philippines has sent people in Nepal, We have sent people in Africa for the problem there on Ebola, and we're always learning from one another. I'm sure some of your societies have also served their own people. So today, we also have our guest from Israel, Maganda Vidadom, who's visiting us here. And they have really made progress with their health. So again, this is a very clear example of our cooperation all the way out from the Middle East. We're able to utilize expertise and knowledge. I can give them a big hand over there. That's my good friend. Chaim Rapkowski, whatever it is. Did I say it right? And of course, Ali? I can never. Aldag. Okay, whatever it is. We can see him, meet him, and I think you can learn a lot from them. Certainly, the Philippine Red Cross has learned a lot from them, and they're all over the place. I think you're also in Myanmar, right? And that's why I thought I'd invite them here and in other places in Asia. So today, ladies and gentlemen, I've cut my talk short, and again, welcome you, and get your hair down, even if you don't have enough, Bento, and the chairman of the Furai. If you don't have it here, we have it here. But of course, when I just want to tell you that I'm just teasing you, but grass doesn't grow on a busy street. It's always busy. The mind's busy. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you here. Be forthright. Let's disagree if we have to disagree, but not be disagreeable. Let us enjoy ourselves as true friends. The kinship of this ASEAN Red Cross has been proven time and again, and let us make it stronger in this conference. Mabuhay. God bless all of you. Allahu Akbar. Thank you very much.